Hey everyone, welcome to Let's Build a Gaming PC Part 2, and I hope my audio is working. Last time I did this I had some major problems, but I think it looks like it's working now. So hey, I'll tell everyone who's out there or will be there, anyone lurking or watching this later. So we stopped Part 1 where I was hooking up the power supply and the components of the motherboard, but I spent about a half hour doing it, and so I'll show what I finished and what you need to do if you're building this as a as a project, and just some tips and pointers. But what I'm going to do now also is let me stream this out and share this because I don't think we've got anyone in the chat just yet. But let's share this out. But yeah, if you want to build your own PC, don't feel intimidated by it. It's something that's not that difficult to do. It's not it's not crazy rocket science. It's just being practical and going step by steps, and don't force anything in. If it doesn't look like it's working, don't say, oh, I'm gonna just jam this component in. Or sometimes if pins don't line up, that's take a look at the magnifying glass, or check it out, and make sure that what you're doing, usually if it's, as my dad would always told me, was, help me with a lot of projects. If you're forcing that sucker in, sometimes you need to use a hammer, but usually it's not a good idea. So it's something really to be careful with. And because if you break a pin or do something on a motherboard or fragile component, then it's something that's definitely tougher to do. So let me get my other camera set up here, and let's get to the screen here. This is my alternative camera 2. Let's see if that's working. Let's go over here. So yeah, it's a StreamYard. You can have a second camera, which is nice. So share that second view. Just want to make sure you mute it so you don't get double audio. Okay, here we go. So add that camera to the chat, and hopefully you guys can still hear me pretty well. Hey, Steve is here. Oh, well, Steve, if you need a computer, let me know. I'm actually gonna sell this one, I think. So sell to the highest bidder. Yep, I want to see how much gold press latinum I can get. So let's let me set this up here. Here we go. Let's make this full screen here. There we go. So here's the PC. Let me push this back. You always need a bigger desk or a bigger board, as they say. Hope you're having a good day, Steve. Oh, check out what Steve's a 3D animator. Oh, I'm glad you got the notification, Steve. I don't know how that, which is good. But of course, if Maddie's daddy is here, we've got to play this. I can never find these fast enough. I need a button for these. Yep. There we go. we got Steve in the house. Let's see what did Steve say. Yep. Oh, he just bought one about 7 or 8 months ago. Yep. I just opened YouTube and I was there. Well, that's good timing. Yep. Well, check this out. I just printed this. This is the 3D model from a website called Wiccan. I'm a Patreon member. The cool thing is they've got all these amazing movie. And, I subscribe to the Patreon version. And but look at the detail from this new. I know it's not the subject of what we're doing right now, but for a 3D FDM printer with the bamboo 0.4 nozzle, let me shine extra light on this. Quality's pretty darn good. And I was really impressed by because this is something I think I would normally print on resin. This is about 6 hours, so yeah, this came out. I'm printing the base. The base is printing right now, but so I got to get some of your designs, Steve, to print, which should be fun. Yeah. So yeah, the creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, it came out. The detail came out amazing for an FDM printer. This bamboo printer is just wild. So I figured I'd print it in. I'm gonna print one in gray, I think too. But I print it in green, and I could just do some quick painting or paint the eyes in. But yeah, it came out really great. So let's get back to the PC because that's what we're all here for, right? So basically, what we had to do was get that extra light going here. So where we left it, I hadn't hooked up anything to the motherboard. So this is your power supply coming in, to the motherboard. Then you've got all your pinouts here for your speakers, your LEDs, reset switch, power switch. This is a USB going to the front panel. So most cases will have a either front panel or now a lot of times it's a top panel. So you've got power, USB, headphones, which normally I don't use. There's a reset button. Old days it was always on the front, but now they've moved that sometimes at the top. I guess it's easier for me. And also, this is the sound audio input going to that front there, and we've also got power supply for the power supply for the. Hang on, let me take the phone out. Go right in here. If you look in the top left corner, this is a real pain to get in. That's the PC power supply. So it's extra power, it's required power for the PC. You can see that connector in the top left that's going to the back. So that's that connector there. That was a pain in the buttocks to get in. So sometimes some of these things are really just a real pain to connect. So that's the connector for the front of the motherboard, for the audio, and there's USB right here. The USB and on the pinout. So, yeah, is it really that difficult to do? No, it's not that difficult, but you just got to make sure you got everything lined up. Look at the motherboard manual. It's pretty simple overall. And then you've got your fan headers. So we've got this liquid cooling. So we've got that set up going to one of the fan headers. So there's power for that. And now it's a little bit more complicated to hook up with this power with the liquid cooling. So we've got 3 fans in the front here. So let me put this back on the tripod. So you've got all the wiring here, pretty neatly done. And the new motherboard cases, they have a spot where you can run the cable through, and hide your components there, which is nice. So let's put the camera back in the holder. And let's spin this around to the back. Show you what it did. Like that. Monitor for now. So here we've got. There we go. That's good. So, take the cell phone off again. So, roving. So this is a mess now. I'm going to clean this up. But so here's the power supply cable for the CPU. Here's all the cabling for the liquid cooler. So you've got three power supplies for the fan go to one fan header. So it's 3 into 1. That's the power. And then there's also RGB lighting, which is a really cool effect with this fan control, which you have lighted fans. So this one cable goes to the motherboard. There's a pin out for RGB lighting on most new motherboards. And so what you do, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. But I think we've got 4 hooked up. You've got 3 fans. I also think then there's the CPU cooler itself as an LED. So one of these is not being used. But then you just clip these two together. You've got to make sure that those triangles line up, those marks line up as you do it. So it's relatively simple in terms of connections. It's 3 into 1, and it's well, hey Jeff, how's it going? Glad to join. Yep, rainbow vomit. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Oh, and that's on Rumble. Yep. Oh, great to have someone in for Rumble. So good to see you. Thank you. But yeah, all these cables, it's a pain. But the new motherboards cases work together. This is a little bit smaller case. If you go a little bit bigger, it makes cable management a little bit easier. You can fit 3.5 hard drives into this section of the of the case. Let's see if I get the light. Put a light going in there. You can see how tough it is and how tight it is to the power supply, especially this is a 750. So, you could go with a little bit bigger case maybe, but yeah, this is nice and compact case. So, Google, I don't want to do a search. I don't want to do a search on the screen touch thing. This AI always goes nuts here. But yeah, it's a little tight, but not too bad. So now that what we have to hook up today, we got to put on the video card, we got to put on the hard drive, and the power supply for the video card. So that's PCIe. That goes to the top of the video card. So a few more components to hook up, and then push the switch, and hopefully everything will go on. And I could put some cable wraps here and clean this up a little bit. So. But yeah, that's basically you can just go through step by step, and this has a nice Velcro ties here, so you can organize your cables as they come off the power supply. Now this is a modular power supply, so you need to. It's a lot easier to hook up your cables, pull the power supply out, and then route everything. You could maybe put a cable in now, but it's so tight in there. So especially with this, you can slide this tray out, that hard drive tray. So let's put this back into the tripod holder here. Let's clean these wires up. I wanted to show. No, I don't want to ask Gemini anything. Why does that keep coming up? All these programs, all they can do is just ask you AI all the time. It's like, no, I have a brain. I want to do this stuff myself. So yeah, sometimes it can be frustrated with how often they ask you to, do you need help with this? Do you want AI to do this? No, I don't want AI to do this. Yeah. So let me grab some cable ties here. I think the case actually came with some cable ties. So here it's a Corsair 4000 airflow mid-tower PC case, which that's a good description. I'd say, yeah, definitely mid-tower. But they do give you nice bunch of nice cable ties to use on the motherboard and the case. So let's clean these guys up. And actually, maybe I'll use for this I can tie this together. Let's see, what we can do is this is some of the tedious stuff you got to do, but in the long run, it makes it a lot better if you spend that time, get it done so it's all clean and neat. And then if you do have a problem with something on the case, God forbid, and computer, then it's easier to get the things or to find things. Plus, for cooling, it's a lot better too to be able to have better cooling than. The wires are right now, they're all in the back, which is nice. So actually, for fun, I'll show you guys some of the old school wiring that I used to do when I first started building PCs. Here, I have this ready to show. So here's Steve is old enough. You remember these flat ribbon cables. So this is your old hard drive cable here. So you'd have these going to your hard drives. And also floppy drive had a different pin out, but smaller version of this. So you had these big, huge ribbon cables going through the top of your PC case. Then, of course, someone got smart and said, let's improve the airflow in our case, and let's make things neater. So what you do, you take an X-Acto knife and you cut, is it every 4 or 5? And you take one of these cables and make a custom cable that's not as obtrusive as it's going through, and you buy this wire wrap and do it that way. So I saved a couple of these, and then companies actually started selling the cables that looked like this, so you didn't have to do it yourself. But I saved a few of these that I'd done with X-Acto knife. You had to be careful not to you nick one of the wires. You could screw up your cable. So that's an old school cable, and that's the original, one of the original cables. So it's a lot easier now to do this stuff. We buy the cables ready made. Back in the day, you buy the cable ready made, and now of course we've got the SATA cables, a much smaller cable, so you don't have to deal with that. Hey, Davina, how's it going? Yep. And Maddie's daddy says, "Yep, Steve, I remember those. Yep. We're dating ourselves. Yep." And Alta Davina, great to see you. Yep. So let's just clean up this mess of wires a little bit. We can put a cable tie and tie around this, or actually can go under here and undo this Velcro, which is pretty cool. I would have thought they would have had a Velcro. Nice cable management solution here. Go up a little bit. You can take that out and put that in. And you do have to make sure you get enough clearance when you put the side panel in. So you got to be careful you don't go too thick here. There should be enough room for that. So let's put this one underneath here. So especially if you've got a compulsion for neatness, this is really nice to be able to do this. Yes, I'll put that connector. We'll go back a little bit more, and let's see here. Let's check these out. We'll kind of get these out of the way. That one's the one that's not connecting. This one goes here. Let's see if we can get those kind of together. And then they do have, so we can do here too, you do have these loops in the case. I don't know how well you guys can see that through the YouTubes, but I can get this to go through. Bend that cable tie a little bit. There we go. So that'll kind of hold it to the case. Get that through. And look nice. Yeah, these are cable wraps, very cheap. So if you need to redo it, you can just clip it and put a new one through. And you never want to go uber tight either. I mean, it's just something like that, just holding it out of the way. Now see how that's already clearing up that path to that section. Let me what's the best way? Let me close part of the tripod, or lower the tripod here so we can get down. Yeah. Not a professional studio here, but we can try. Let's see if that goes. There we go. That's a little bit lower. Just this. Sorry for the camera wobble. But I can see that area is already cleaning up just a little bit. Yep. And Jeff said, yeah, we used to go into the BIOS and tell the motherboard the hard drive info before plugging. Oh, God, those days were so crazy. I remember I bought a hard drive. I don't remember the capacity. I want to say it was I know it was megabytes, but maybe it was like 500 megabytes, and the BIOS on the motherboard could only take 250. I forget the limitations, but I remember like calling computer places in town and trying to see how I could get the motherboard to accept the BIOS, and you had to use fix disk, F disk, and DOS to, format your drive, and yeah, you had all kinds of nightmares in terms of trying to get the computer to accept the hard drive. I remember, I think it was a Micropolis. I still saved it from our IBM AT at work, and I think it was 30 megabytes on the hard drive, or 10 megabytes, or maybe it's a 20 megabyte. I'm forgetting what it is, but it's the hard drive is about you know 5 inches tall. It's a huge brick. It's bigger than a brick, actually. You could kill someone with it if you dropped it on their head, God forbid. And yeah, it was always just a nightmare. And then ISA, your ports and your interrupts in the BIOS. You're always going into the BIOS and tweaking things, and especially if you're a gamer, you try to get the interrupts so it could accept all your cards. And yeah, it's a lot it's a lot easier now. Yeah, plug and play. I remember the first USB device. It's like, I don't believe how I can plug a printer in and it actually recognizes the printer. Like, this is amazing. So yeah, let's clean up this section here. I want to try to get it so that I did want to add another hard drive, mechanical hard drive for storage there, that can get into that. So that's not too bad right now. I'll leave that loose, but I could go a little bit crazier cleaning up things, but that's not entirely terrible. And then yeah, now you can kind of get a hard drive in here, and here this would be the power connector for a hard drive. I should run a SATA cable over. I probably will add a storage drive to this. And let's see, this is another cable, so we can just kind of tuck that over the top underneath. Well, it's actually not going to hurt anything going here. We'll leave that there. Let's see here. And then the motherboards and cases too, back in the day, they weren't really made for hobbyists. So now they have all these features that make things a lot easier. And hey, Dave C, how's it going? So it is a lot simpler, and it's for the better too. But it does make life a lot easier, thankfully, when you're trying to do things like this. So yeah, it's kind of a mess in here, but not too bad. It's all behind the motherboard, so for airflow, you're a lot better off. So now what we got to do, let's put the hard drive in, which is amazing. It's one of those little M2 hard drives. So this has got to go to the video card. So I'm thinking I'm going to go run this around the back here, I think. Maybe I should go underneath this mess here. Go through. I might end up rerouting this, but I did probably spend like an hour just connecting those motherboard cables that we talked about in the beginning, a half hour. I couldn't get that PC cable to the CPU cable to connect easily. And some of the cases have motherboard trays that can slide out. I don't think this one slide. It looked like part of it would slide. At one point, it was a slidable one, but then it's like, no, I can't slide it out. So here we go. Let's flip this around. So now the way this works is really not much more to hook up here. We've got the hard drive. Let me angle this up for everyone. So we've got our hard drive, which M2 hard drive, which is tech is just so amazing, as Jeff was saying, about all the work it did to connect this stuff. Hard drive video card is going to go here. You could add another very fast M2 hard drive, which is an option. They're more expensive than a standard drive, but for storage, the speed, so for gamer, yeah, it'd be nice to have two of those probably. And of course, we want to clean up some of these wires here. So I can actually hide. I think I can sneak this wire into the back behind the case, so it's out of the way. Get that in the back here. Grab that. That's just the fan. If we push that line, and I'll Velcro that off, and then just put one cable tie here. Just you don't have to. I mean, just flipping like this, but let's just put one cable tie there. So let's see. Okay, what video card? So I have, this is a 1080 GTX 1080 gigabyte. I'll show the box in a second that I bought. Top of the line, probably 7 years ago, was it? Or something, 6 years ago, something like that. Don't always, obviously trim off the wire wrap there. If make it, you're gonna do it right. So there we go. Make it neater. So here's the, of course, I always say the box for everything. So this is my the box for the GeForce 1080. Pretty cool box art, right, Steve? So that's a 1080 gigabyte. That's going to go in here. I was going to buy a brand new video card. I went to play the Indiana Jones game. I've heard mixed things about it. Retro Blaster, I was not a fan, and I trust him on most everything. And I went to play the game. It said can't play on your 1080. And then I was looking. Well, I want to play this Indiana Jones game because I have it on. The Microsoft game. What's it called? Game. You subscribe monthly. You can play all the games online. For the PC through Microsoft. And I went to play. I said, nope, your video card's not compatible. You don't have ray tracing. I'm like, I don't care about ray tracing. I just want to play the damn game. I'm old school. I like, cool graphics, but it doesn't matter. I grew up playing Pong, so, it's not going to kill me if it doesn't have the world's most amazing graphics. So, but you can't play that Circle, Indiana Jones, what's it called? Circle of Life, the Great Circle of Life. So you can't play that without a card. So I was looking at buying a new graphics card. And I know graphics cards ain't cheap. Hey, JT Kirk, and Jeff says, yeah, F ray tracing. Yeah, it's like, well, if you want to spend the money on it, God bless you, feel free. But I was looking at the prices of graphics cards, and it's like at least like $500, $550. I'm like, am I gonna, spend that to play one game? I guess I could play it on my old Xbox. I guess if I really wanted, I could just, I guess with that Game Pass, I could play it on the Xbox. But I can't use a control. I'm old school. I can't use it. When I try to use a controller, it gets ugly. So, God, I was PO'd. I'm like, I'm gonna spend $550, and then I was reading they're coming out with the new 5 series of graphics cards. So, I always try to buy something, couple years old. At least the price comes down. Of course, with the way AI is going and how NVIDIA is doing, graphics cards. Yeah, this card was $600 when I bought it, but I got 7 years out of it. So, what I did, I just went on eBay and I bought a 1080 Ti. I think for around $150, which is a little bit faster than the 1080. But I said, well, let me just put that card, the 1080, regular 1080 in here. I'll use the 1080 Ti, and I'll wait to see what happens with graphics. Hey, low spec Linux gaming, great to see you. Yep, there's not going to be a Linux computer, sorry, but you could easily do that though too. But yeah, so I said, let me put the 1080 in here and probably sell this. End up selling this PC, or Grandma needs a new gaming computer. But the thing is, if you have the way that's why Linux is so great too. If for most people, when they check email, like Grandma's checking email, she doesn't need the aggravation with PC. So Linux may be a little complicated if it's a problem, but you really just need you can set Linux up so you just have your web browser there, or like Grammy. What I did, I got her a Chrome box because she kept clicking on everything. I know Grammy's not listening, but clicking on everything. It's like, no, that's probably a scam. Oh, Linux, that's you on Rumble. Okay, thank you for being there on Rumble. Yep, It's the first time I've had someone on Rumble. I know people watch on Rumble, but first comment coming through, so it's nice to know that that's working through on StreamYard. So here's the. Let's go get some light there. Let's get closer. Closer here. There we go. So what I got to do is get this hard drive in here, but one thing to watch out for is the height with this cooler that's in here. So I think this might end up, let me put the stand out here. Let's see, get some extra light coming through here. I've got this nice cooler. Let's see, so that's going to go in there like so. And you screw that in. I got to see the height of the standoff there. That's one thing I always check is the height. But I have a feeling this is going to hit the video card. I don't know if I can put it in. I guess I can use this slot. Both slots are the same, so maybe that's what I'll do is go into this slot. I got to check the motherboard configuration. I don't think it matters which slot you go into on the motherboard in terms of speed. That's the one thing you want to be careful of. Yep. Yeah, Jay's. Yeah, with Linux, you don't have Microsoft trying to sell you stuff. Track all your activity, harvest your data, and throw ads in your start menu. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a pain. Yep. And modern Linux, simple. Most single-player window games just work. Yeah. Linux is. I've used it on some older laptops or older machines, and I converted them to Linux. So I've dabbled in it. I can't, nowhere near an expert, but it's a great operating system, and there's some great distributions out there. I was a guy that tried OS2 Warp back in the day when they had that big push for Warp. Yep. Let's see. This is going to fit in here. Yep. So that fits. So one thing with these M2 drives, they've got standoffs that go in, and they're different heights. So let me take this one out. I think I'm okay with having the drive in that slot. So you've got your standoff, and what that does, that supports the drive. I'm trying to do this as a lefty here. We'll switch to the righty. I think this is too high. I want to have the hard drive in there flat, so there's a support on the end here. So you put the screw through there, and it rests on that, and it supports it, but there's different heights. And this just fits like this, so. And it's going to be really tough for you guys to see. It's tough for me to see. That height is the right height. It looks okay. You just want it parallel to the motherboard. I think that looks okay, actually. So I got to get a tiny screw in there. And you can buy kits on Amazon for all the different like there's a standoff kit you can buy. And remember, I think this is one of those standoff kits. It's always nice to have everything organized. So I should label that this is standoffs, but I think this is an M2 standoff kit, and they come with different sizes, and that's one of the more frustrating things when you go to hook up your computer case. So like here's a lower, tough to see maybe, but that's a lower standoff there, and that's one of the more frustrating things when you want to get your computer going, and you got to wait till you have the standoff. And now I'm going to take this back out, and I'm going to see that the screw that I've got is the right thread. Of course, it's all metric screw, so it looks like, guessing M2 or M3 on here. It just makes the life easier. That was too skinny. I don't have that problem. That screw was. So make sure that fits. And it's always a fine thread on these standoffs. Of course, force thread. So here we go. So I think that's, I'm guessing an M2 or M3, but just a tip, put the, you know what screw you're going to need, the thread. So check it before you put it on the motherboard. Just makes life easier, so now I know which screw I need. And let's do it, catch up with the chat here. Yep. Okay, so JT said, you generally want the first slot on the motherboard. You shouldn't mess with the graphics card. It should also be guaranteed to have a dedicated PCI Express lines to the CPU. Lower slots aren't always bootable and sometimes share PCI line. That's what I thought from reading stuff. Yep. Wow, that's a hell of a cooler on that NVMe. Yeah, that's what I have running. I think on my, I have two hard drives. So what I'll do, yeah, I think JT is right. So let me pull this out of the cooler, and then I do have another cooler, low profile cooler, because I'm pretty sure this is going to interfere with the motherboard. So I do have a, put this on top so I don't lose that. So I do just have you always want to be prepared. So I do have a standard heatsink. You can use it without a heatsink too, but I think it's a good idea to have a heatsink, and some of the hard drives do come with heat sinks as well. There's my knife hiding in my drawer that needs to be reorganized. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, I think I remember reading that in some of the literature, the manuals. Yeah, the second slot doesn't want to boot, so let me grab the video card. And pretty sure that won't, because I had that problem with 1080 Ti. I remember I had to switch it around. Oh, and it's nice that they give you some. So here's this. Here's the heat sink, and they do give you some screws with that, which is good. And tiny little screwdriver. So you got your heat sink here. You've got your screws that go with that, and a throwaway screwdriver, but they included it, so that's nice. Yep. So, are there any instructions? There are no instructions. Oh, yeah. Service warranty. Not that you need instructions for a heatsink, but yeah. So, what did I say to do here? I would just check the instructions. Well, you don't need no sticking directions yet. So installation with protective film for both sides, and then yeah. All right, so that's the way it goes. Just want to see the order how it goes together. So you put the hard drive in there, and let's grab that video card just to confirm that that's going to hit. But yeah, here's your pads here to use on that CPU or hard drive cooler. So it's a heat sink there. So pretty much more compact than the other one. But let's make sure that we'll be okay. That's much lower. So let's grab that video card. It might fit, video cards. Yeah, it's not too difficult to take in and out, but we'll just snap that in. Take it back out again, or it's going to hit the bottom there, the hard drive. So here's my good old gigabyte card, classic, the 1080, which is considered probably one of the best all time. Oh, actually, look at that. So this is going to go. You always want to check your clearances here. So this cable, I'm going to have to push up a little bit. There we go. So that's going to rest up there. All right. So yeah, I do have the clearance above there to get that in. So we can keep that case on there, which is good. That's heatsink on there. Yeah, because the business end of this card is pointing down, so there will be clearance there, which is good. So it saves me from a little bit of extra work. Card somewhere safe. So let's put all this stuff back in the box and save it for the next PC. Or yeah, if I had added another hard drive, I could use that cooler on the other hard drive. And that cooler that came with that hard drive was Rocket. I don't remember the brand. Sabrin, I think it is. However you say it. That was came with you could buy it with that cooler, which maybe is overcooled, overdone a little bit. But I like overdoing things sometimes, especially when it comes to cooling. So, all right. So let's get that hard drive in there. Let's see if I'm missing any of the chat because I can't read on the phone yet. So let's see here. What is JT? Yeah, confirmed for the 5X70 Aorus Elite. Socket is dedicated PCI lines to CPU. Slot M2 socket is barring lines with a chipset, aka slower. Okay, thank you, JT. Yeah, so we'll keep that on the top. Thank you for checking that for me. I do have the manual opened up on my other screen, but thank you for letting me know. It's tough to read and check that stuff, and that's memory. So yeah, so that's going to go there. That should work out nice. And I can't remember what size this hard drive is. It's 500 gigabytes or 1,000. And typically, I always like running. Well, these days, if you could afford a 2 terabyte as your main, your main boot drive, and put some of your games on there. If things that need to be faster. Yeah, that's a nice way to go. Let's see. Tighten it. That's okay. That screw should be tight. We get a little small screwdriver for tightening this up. But yeah, the speeds, that makes the biggest difference. One of the biggest differences is you're loading a game, or it's just so nice to have that speed. Yeah. So let's get this secure in there. Yeah, so there's no cables to run. It's direct to the motherboard. Oh, we'll do that. Probably should do this flat. The case on the side, but let's see if I get lucky. I'm playing the game of Operation here. Is this screw too short? Of course, I think this screw might be too short. That's the right. Let's see. Well, what do you want to grab? Oh, it worked. Look at what. You want to, like this kind of stuff, you don't want to over tighten, but you want to make sure it's in there. Your hard drive is in there, connected. Yep, it's pretty solid. Let me loosen it just a half a turn. I'm going to push in. Yeah, that's solid. It's not going anywhere. Because when installing it like this, technically, I really should put this flat when you're doing that. So gravity works in your favor. So that's in there pretty good. Push that up a little bit. That's your RGB lighting. This is the SATA connector, so I could put one in. But right now, I'll leave it blank. It's easy enough to open the case and throw the cable in if you want to use that. So let's get the hard drive in. Well, first we got to take off the backing plate. Now, modern graphics card, I should say, get in the graphics card. Modern PCs, you got to take out 2 of your backing plates here. You grab the bigger screwdriver. Yeah, long way from the days of ID master indentured servant hard drives. Yeah, that's for sure. Yep, yep. And yeah, gravity hasn't worked in my favor for over a decade now. Yeah, if I go to a planet with less gravity, I'd be lighter on the scale, which is God, that would be a quick way to lose weight. If I go to do Weight Watchers, did you lose any weight this week? Well, it depends on what planet I'm on. On the moon, I did really well. Oh, I know it's a moon. All right, you know what I mean. All right, so you got to take your for the hard drive here. Hard drive graphics card. I'm going to take 3 off top. Sometimes it interferes with the. It's 2. It's a double wide. It's a double wide. Let's get third one on. I think I always throw it back in. All right. Let's see what we need. The clearance there. I'll back this up a little bit. So here's the 1080, the classic. Actually, I think I did dust this out. I think I did put it through the air blower. But this card has been kicking butt for a while. So you just want to line your slots up here. Looks like it's going to be okay. There we go. Ram that home. Ramming speed. That's what you just want to make sure your cable management. So that goes right to the end. I don't know if 1080. This is back in the day. I can't remember if this is small for a graphics card now or big, but let's angle this up. Let's see here. Yeah, so your cable management, yeah, so it's okay. We're okay here. Just missing, but that's close to that last section. It just clears. I'm sure that was designed by Corsair. We've got a card that went even further. So let's get the screws back in. I'll screw that in, then we're going to put our power supply there. Yep. And JT, 1080 is one of the most beautiful cards ever made, the Pascal. Yep. And that's a long way for back in the day. Yeah, I think I remember it's a pretty big card. I don't know about modern cards. I haven't bought a card in 7 years, a top of the line or expensive card. And like I said, since I bought this one. So I bought some cheaper cards just, for everyday PCs. Hopefully it'll get the silicon better in terms of just if you're an average, you're not a gamer, but like the Apple silicon, it's not great for gaming per se, just because of the architecture, compatibility wise. But man, they've got such graphical power on those chips right now, all in one chip. So I think that's the way you're gonna go down the road. I think you see PCs going that route too, and then for your high-end gamer, yeah, you're still going to have someone who's crunching numbers, engineering. Yeah, you're going to have specialty cards, but I think we're going to see that all-in-one chip solution because the M2, M3, M1. I mean, I have an iPad. I think with the M2, it's just amazing the capabilities of that silicone. I think I'm able to get this. Get that in. There we go. All right. And yeah, one problem they had with some of the bigger cards too, they had sagging so that you could buy a support so it would hold the graphics card up. She's sagging, Captain. Always want to make sure that's in there tight. And then we're going to power this sucker up. Start installing Windows. And hopefully everything's going to go. I don't know what's on this on this hard drive. If I had Windows installed on it, so I'll do like a recovery. Let's make sure this isn't tight. That's pretty good. Yes, we don't have sagging. I always remember, important safety tip, hook up the power, the PCI, to that graphics card. I've done that before. Where, you go to power. The card's not working. There's no view. Yep. Yeah, and so JT said, those M2s have remarkable performance. Would you get those for gaming? NVIDIA just made all ARM NVIDIA box for Project Digits. Starts at 3K. Don't know if we'll game either, though. Wow. When you think about it, when I first started buying computers, they were 3 or 4K. And then Jeff is saying here, your Ryzen 5600G will handle 720 1080p gaming with the graphics on the CPU. Yeah, so I think, if you're not doing this high-end crazy ray tracing, basic stuff, and for basic performance, it's nice to just have that all-in-one solution where you don't need to spend a fortune or on a dedicated graphics card. Pick this up, vacuum plate, and always save. I mean, you could throw these out. Obviously you can always have 2 for the graphics card, but always save the motherboard box, and I put everything with the computer build into the motherboard box. So here's your PCIe power coming off the power supply. Let's hook that up. And some of these this one has 4, so I could just use the last one and then hide the rest underneath, I guess. So the way this works, you put that together like so, and the hook is always on the other side, so you always go above. And if you're forcing it, you can hold the graphics card there. Make sure that's in all the way. You should hear a snap. There we go. That snap. And you always want to make sure your card is in. That could be one of the worst problems to have is if your card's not snapped in all the way. So there, I felt that snap, and I'm just popping up my glasses and make sure that's clicked in there. There's a little dust there, but not too bad. And it's let me hit the blower there. Let's get some of that dust on that edge out. Let's see. All right. So, and I did buy one of those USB air dusters. It works. They work pretty good. Yep. And low specs says I'm still rocking 720p gaming with my Ryzen 3400G. No dedicated CPU yet, and I stream. Yeah, there's a lot of power in these modern CPUs. So, and I think some of the designers, you get lazy too. It's like, why did they have to add ray tracing to that Indiana Jones? Make it required. I mean, it's like, just let us, if you want to play and don't want to have an obnoxiously, spend money on an obnoxiously fast PC, or you don't have the money, you're frugal, right? Or you don't want to waste money. Nothing wrong with obviously having the latest video card, or, if you're an graphics artist, I'm sure Steve Mitchum needs to have a fast graphics card if you're rendering, or I'm doing a lot of stuff with 3D printing right now. And it's nice to have, but have to spend $500 to play a game. Yeah, I guess yes, I could have gotten a 460 probably for cheaper, but it's like, why to go from the 1080 to the 460? It's not enough of a performance boost for most stuff, everyday stuff. But it does that, other than obviously adding that ray tracing. Let's see here. All right, so I think we're getting ready to power this sucker up. So power supply cable's going in. Let me show you guys the back of the computer here. My daughter would call it a McPuter when she was a little kid. So pretty nice on the back of this PC. You've got four USB 2.0s. You've got a display port, then 1, 2, 3 USB 3s. Is that a USB 2? I can't remember. Is that a charger? What's that say on there? Oh, that's the BIOS. So that white one, is a USB 3, but you can use it to flash the BIOS. And then you've got USB 3.1, which is the red. And then you've got networking, audio out, obviously, analog. Then this is the video card with this guy's got one HDMI, one DVI, one display port, and one old school connector. So this is an older card. So I've got an HDMI monitor. So let's go into the monitor via HDMI, like so. Hide that fan cable in the back there. That's good. All right, so we're looking pretty good, I think. Power it up. So that's hooked up. That power supply is hooked up. The graphics card. Let's spin this back. Let me get this so we can get the monitor on, and hopefully we'll get something going on this monitor. And I apologize if I don't see the chat right away because I'm away from my laptop. Let's get this guy on the side here. Let's turn the monitor on. Yeah, my first PC compatible is a PC Junior. I was telling my son the other day, I bought this monitor for a grand sum of $80. Spectre monitor. It's considered a gaming monitor with a high refresh rate. And the crazy thing is, I turn some of these lights off so you get the see the fans light up in cool colors. Yeah, it's my dad. I went to buy the PC Junior, and I think the Junior was $800 back in the day, or whatever the heck it was. I still have the receipt. Whatever the cost of the PC Junior was. Let me Google it. PC Junior cost. I think it was at 1983 or 84. What the hell? How much did that computer cost? All right, so my memory is sometimes garbage. It was $670 for the 64 kilobyte model, kilobytes, and $1,200 for the 128. It was first released in '84. The 64 kilobyte model costs around $2,000. The 120 by today's inflation, 128 would cost about $3,800. I think I had the 64. Okay, and I did do a lot of upgrades on that machine. But anyway, the monitor for that I think was $400, a color monitor, and I think they had a I don't know the Junior if you could hook it up to the TV, and my dad. Anyway, it was long story short. My dad, paid for that. When I went to buy it, so I still have that monitor. It still works. Yep. I can't remember what the cost was, but yeah, it's there's some of them on eBay. But that was so cool. I'm like, oh wow, I get to have the computer in color. Yep. 16-bit color, the PC Junior. Yep. On Lowspec is saying, yeah, the space heater would be nice. Yeah, the wattage it used. Yep. And then Scepter, great value brand for monitors. Usually the B panels from Samsung or LG. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, because I'm using this in the basement, and here I'll show you before I turn this on. I did a lot of computer work and consulting and testing or fixing computers, mainly for going to people's houses. Not as kind of like a Geek Squad before Geek Squad, but like friends and family. And for a while, I was doing a ton of it. So I had a rig set up, and here's my old there's my old CRT with the shelf on it. We got the Batmobile all over. You guys can see what's in the dungeon down here. but the board cube is there. So I just put that over there. I got to get rid of that CRT, but the nice old who made that CRT V75 OptiQuest. Is it OptiQuest? Let me look at it. But so I moved out of the way. I'm like, oh crap! I need a monitor over here. OptiQuest. Yeah, an OptiQuest monitor. Gotta remember buying that. The thing weighs a ton. So let me get a cheap monitor. It's crazy. You can get a monitor for that cheap. So let's back up so we see all three fans. Let's turn this light off so we get let's turn these lights off because I think it'll give us a cool effect with the fans here. Yep. Remember, Packard Bell says low spec. CPU clock speed was 16 megahertz. It was 2000 around 1991. Yeah. Your CRT will adopt to service us. Resistance futile. Yep. All right, so here we go. I hope this turns on. All right, and there's a switch in the back too to make sure that the power supply is on. Yep, that's going up. Let's see. Yep. Now it's. Yep. I think I got a little flash there. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully this won't explode. All right, we got lights. Yep. There we go. There's the fan lights. Look how cool that is. Oh, that's awesome. But I'm not getting anything on the monitor. Come on. Oh, there we go. American Megatrons. Thank God. Phew. So you get a little nervous. I've built probably, I don't know, over 100 PCs easy, maybe 300 PCs in my day, or I'm not sure. But new CPU installed. NV corrupted. Yeah. Press Y to reset. If you have a bit blocker encryption, press no to keep your record. Oh, I should hook up a keyboard, maybe, guys. Right, with that keyboard. Let me get my. I got a gaming keyboard with this. Let me, oh, it's right over here. Yeah, so. Yeah, new CPU detected, so that knows everything in it. Yeah, TPM, yeah. Oh, yeah. So here's my gaming keyboard. I can sell with this computer. Yeah, I'm so old school. I love the function keys on the side. It's like, why don't they make computer, keyboards with the function keys on the side anymore? And this actually, you need to hook up 2 USB connectors. So let's get in here again. See the back. I could up one of my little test keyboards, but why not? Let's get this all hooked up together. And we got plenty of USB slots. The one thing I could add to this is just another adapter card with more USB slots. There we go. That went up nicely. So one reason I bought this keyboard back in the day was it had some nice. It had the keys on the side here. It's it's not exactly the function key, but the first IBM keyboard had the function keys on the side here, and the control key and caps lock key were switched. So every computer I use, and it always screws people up if they go to use one of my machines. Caps lock key belongs down here. The control key has got to be next to the A key. So whoever changed that or did that was a moron. Because you barely use the caps lock key, right? So here's an old compact keyboard. Of course, it's got the caps lock in the wrong spot as well. But the first IBM had that caps lock. I don't know why they switched it. If I ever become dictator or ruler of the earth, get rid of daylight savings time or send back your time, and put the caps lock key there. And I don't know. Whoop. What was that? That wasn't good. That was not good. Something happened. You guys hear a bang there? Oops. I was rolling on keyboards. Let's turn the lights back on. Well, that's stunk. Let's see. I don't see any smoke. Turn the car supply. Thought I heard something. I don't know if you guys heard something. That wasn't good. I'll take famous last words for $200, Alex. Yeah. So I don't know if that was the CPU overheating. Let's see. Ah, son of a gun. How not to build a gaming PC. Let's see if I turn that. See if I do that. Yep. Nothing. Oh, jeez. And I don't see anything obvious there. Of course, it was running for a few minutes, so nothing feels extra hot there. Ah. Well, that's not good. I wasn't looking at the computer at that point, so I don't know what had happened, but it did. It all of a sudden shut off. Let's unplug the power supply. Put this keyboard on top so it's on the way. Sounded like some. Yeah, you did hear something, right? Yeah. Is there is the fan on the power supply on when you press the power button? Yep. Yep. So, hey, Tim. Yeah. That's not good. Again, I'll take the famous last words for $200. Yep. I assume the power supply and fan was spinning. Of course, when you're trying to do two things at once, I don't know if that was the video card. I had that CPU. The front fans were spinning, obviously. So I assume the CPU. I've had that happen before where the cooler, the PC will overheat. All right, I unplugged everything, plug it back in. I have to check the power. First thing to check is the power supply. That was overloaded. Shouldn't be overloaded with this card. Card's in. Turn. Frustrating. Unplug the keyboard. Put that out of the way. Then you got to chasing the bonus down, and hopefully, whatever did go bad, or if something didn't fry the motherboard or the CPU, or then you get back to troubleshooting and see what's wrong. All right. Let's see if the fuse blow on this. Let's see if I've got power coming to the. Let's see. Oh, no, this light's plugged into the. Well, this is plugged in. Yep. So that's got power. Let's see here. All right. So power supply's on. I didn't see any obvious shorting or anything that would indicate a problem or like a wire. Wire that was hitting or something. This card was in all the way. All right, let's try to hit it again. Yep, that's dead. She's dead, Jim. Well, Let me check the power supply. My power supply tester. Oh, the Rangers in the Winter Classic next year. Oh, cool. I'll have to try to go to that. I think they were in a few years. Yeah, was it 3 years ago? The Giants did not win today. Maybe they could fix my PC. Yep. So here's a handy dandy power supply tester. So let's unhook the power supply, which is a pain. Let's see if that's the first thing to test is your power supply. Yeah, I think I heard I don't know if you guys could hear it through the mic. I wasn't looking at the system, but I think I did hear a pop, unfortunately. Which is not good for electronics. Yeah? So I think this one goes. That one here. The power supply go? I wonder if the power supply went. I'm not getting anything on my power supply tester here. I wonder if that power, that would be good and bad if it's a nice power supply in there, but and then I got to reroute all the cables again. But I'm not getting anything on this power supply, and that's a top, high quality CM750 power supply from is it Corsair? Or is it? I think it's Corsair, but it's not no name brand. But yeah, if you plug this in, this should be giving me something. And it's not giving me anything. Let me try to plug this in here. Yeah, so maybe it's not that I want to have if I had to pick something to go, it would be the power supply. Not obviously not one of the other components, although the CPU cost wise, but maybe it's assuming it's the power supply that went bad. And there's a fan, but it's pointing down, so let's see if that was running. But all right, well, so much for that. I was all excited to set up the PC and get it running, and I guess you guys heard that pop too. Let's see if I can plug this in. See if I got my let me get my tester, my AC tester, just to double check power to that. I don't have a spare power supply because that was my spare power supply. You always want to have a spare power supply. This is one of the best testers you can have, or think for the house. Not saying this model this happens to be a fluke, but you can test your AC power. So you can test my So it's lighting up. So there's power going in this cable. Of course, you do electrical work. It's just a great circuit tester to see. And of course, the way the cable's wrapped, it's got power there. So yeah, this should. And the way this works, when you plug this tester in, it just powers up the tester. You don't have to press there's no power on per se. The way the pins work. So I'm gonna have to buy a new power supply and check that out and take the which is a pain in the butt to take the power supply. But if I buy another Corsair unit, the cables are compatible, so I can leave the cables in. But yeah, I'm not getting any power through there. So it might be I don't know what you guys think in the chat, but if that's not lighting up, that's probably it. So, oh man, that stunk. Does the power supply have a fuse? Let me check that. Low spec. Yep. Like you can swap the things with toys for being dangerous and non-user replaceable. Yeah, let me see. Yep. Connect the two wires to make the PC fan spin. Oh, see, dead or alive. Yep. Yeah. You have the tool to loop back. Well, that's actually this tester. That's what it does when you plug these. Do I have an old? Let me go check my shelf to see if I have an old power supply. But when you plug these in, if you Google the instructions for this one, does it have a brand on it? Power supply test. It automatically it's pinned so that it doesn't have to you don't have to press the power, but it lights up. I don't want to open up. Let's see. I do have an old PC sitting here, as you can see, but. And to get into that with the power supply. Let me see if I have another power supply sitting on my shelf of stuff, just to see how that tester works. I'm guessing, just my gut feeling, power supply. Let's see if my stack of stuff is. I don't have. I did bring a lot of stuff to my work office. So I don't have much stuff here. Oh man, that's a bummer. So, order another power supply, and the good thing is, well, it's not the power supply. It's always a good idea to have another power supply in the house to be ready. If you're using your computer, of course, I got plenty of computers, but yeah, it's just it's a nice thing to have as a backup. Yep. So that would do the same thing. Would start it up. But let me pull the power supply. Yeah, the more they overthink the plumbing, the easier it is to stop up the drain. Yeah. You can get a build PC to your specs. As a guy on YouTube that claims he's the greatest technician ever. Yeah. And the way this PC came about was I kept having computer problems, and I kept buying components, and now I'm mad now that didn't work. So we're like, with kaboom. I didn't see any. Usually you see like a puff of smoke or something. Not that I want to see that, but at least you can tell what's up. But yeah, that's reset. There's no. That's dead. Yep. Let me pull the power supply out. Take a look out, see if I see anything quick. Man, that's a bummer. It's all done too. Of course, you're better off, having something like that go now. Of course, if I had sold this to someone, and you ship it out, and we always test stuff too. But I had used this. I think this is the power supply from my PC, and I think when I had problems, first thing I do is switch out the power supply. So I think I had switched it with. So this does have some hours on it. I bought an 850 for my main computer. And pulled the 750 out, but it was working. And it wasn't under load. It wasn't like it was under any kind of load. So I'm hoping if it was just the power supply, nothing else got damaged. Let's see here. Pull this up. This comes out through the front. Actually, this. Let me pull this cage out. That's in here. This is just a bit loose. Motherboard cage. Okay, just there. This thing is a pain. There we go. If you need the storage, I'd leave it out. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see an obvious fuse in here. No obvious damage, or can't see anything obvious there. Let's plug this in again. I'm smelling. You guys smell that through the internet? I'm smelling something on that through that case. So I think I smell a little burnt plastique there now that I pulled this out. So I'm thinking that's what went. If you do smell-o-vision, pull these connectors out. The smell-o-vision, JC Kirk. There we go. I don't know if it's probably not under warranty anymore. So there goes about $120. I could buy crappy Modern Comics with. Yeah, I'm smelling a little, nothing like the smell of burnt plastic in the morning. Yeah, drag nabbits. I hope that's all it is, and then that's kind of a good example of what can go wrong when you do something yourself. But usually components fail pretty quickly. Quickly if it's. But yeah, I do smell. It's not that bad, but. And you guys heard it too, probably, right? Yep. If this is an R-rated stream, this would be cussing and smashing would have already started. Yeah. Weird. Yeah, Miss Rachel Ziegler. All right, so what a bummer. But I think it's my Corsair RM750 that just blew out live on YouTube. Corsair, if you want to be a sponsor, send me power supply. Just kidding. But no, usually I've had good luck with their products, and they have good stuff. And when was this power supply built? Have a date on it? Let's see. So I can't read. I can't see any date on here, but yeah, that's a pain in the buttocks. But anywho, all right. Well, I'll buy a new power supply. I'll give you guys an update. Maybe we'll do a part 3. God, I at least want to know what was on that hard drive. I should have just clicked. I was waiting to click click on there. Click yes and get into the BIOS. Well, actually, maybe it's a good thing it wasn't into the BIOS when that happened. So minor blessing. It's always a pain when you're in the BIOS and something goes wrong. That's a real hassle. So we don't want that happening. But I was hoping to get that computer set up and get that project finished. But we did finish printing the base for the creature from the Black Lagoon. Let me pull that out of my 3D printer. And let's take a look how he looks with the base here. All right, so we've got the creature. I should play that bleep this, bleep that, the creature. And here's the base. 3D printed base. Not bad. And so he's got a little. Oh yeah, it fits pretty. Yeah, look, it fits right on the. So I could glue that on there, or it fits right on the dead power supply. Oh, it's not quite a tight fit though. Let's see if I rotate that. You'd think that would have been. Oh, you know what happened? I think I did the wrong scale on the base, but you always grab a little fun tack. Fun tack, you can't go wrong. A little fun tack on the feet here. There we go. Just to get a. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. It's amazing what you can do with the 3D printer these days. Yeah, I think the angle. There we go. I get them set up a little bit. I guess I could glue them too if I wanted. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So the creature took out the power supply. Yeah. But not bad. In terms of detail for an FDM printer, I'm pretty, and that's the 0.4 nozzle, not the 0.2 nozzle. So if you want to go to more detailed. So I guess I'll end here. Let me check up with we got any last minute chats here. ARMS 750 is a 10-year limited warranty for parts and oh, thank you, JT. I'll check that out. I think either I bought that on Newegg or Amazon. I'll have to check to see. But that's good to know, because I think that then what I'll do, I'll buy a new power supply and then test it, and then test in the machine, and that'll tell me. And hopefully that's all it is. All right, so thank you, JT, for being here. Phantom, Low Spec, Tim, the Stream Elements bot, and who else is hiding out in the chat here? I don't want to miss anyone that was with us tonight. I think that's everyone. Oh, Dave was here. Of course, Dave C was here, and of course, Low Spec was in Rumble. So thank you for being there in Rumble too. And Maddie's daddy was here as well. So this was fun, despite the creature taking out the PC at the last minute there. But yeah, we'll see you guys on Friday night on StreamYard, and see if I won't get the power supply tomorrow. So, but if I do another cool YouTube print, maybe I'll stream it to YouTube. But yeah, so everyone have a great rest of the night. Catch you soon, and be safe out there. Yeah, building PCs can be dangerous. Thankfully, I didn't get zapped, but yeah, this was. I have to go rewind that and see what happened there when that popped. But I think we heard that pop, so that's what can happen. So, all right, everyone. So thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care, everyone.
Fun storming the castle.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Still here? It's over. Go home.